someone in the chat had said, what if they worked on a DLC where there was a Fallout planet you could find in Starfield? I've been
That would be
saying that
sick.
almost from the beginning. That would be
That would be sick.
freaking crazy.
Honestly, Boom. Honestly, like if I could just jump in for a split second,
Please,
because
by all
I don't want
means,
to
go
lose
ahead.
this hype thought, because we're just playing now, right? But imagine if like Shattered Space like DLC comes with one of those planets, right? What if they're working on something about that, right? Where it's
Dude.
not direct call out, but it's like, in your face kind of thing. I would
Yes.
freaking love that. I would love that, like a little Easter egg. I would love that stuff.
I mean, if it's a planet you could find, I would imagine that there would be Fallout, there would be
Yeah.
bunkers.
Like just themed, right? Themed
Yes.
like it. Yeah, I
Yeah.
would love that. Yeah.
There'd be vaults that you could find.
That would be
Fuzzy,
so good.
how dope would that be? I think it'd be pretty damn awesome.
That would definitely be awesome. Like whether they put it where it's actually on Earth or just some other planet. Like we definitely talked about something like this, like early days of Starfield, where you have like Planet of Tamarill or something that's almost in like the Skyrim universe as well. One in the Fallout universe like that. I think that whether the modders do it or they do it themselves, I think that's going to wind up happening at some point. But that would be a cool thing, just not just for the Easter egg aspect, but you would have people play Starfield. Like you can already build your own like base and establishment and things. Can you imagine that now? Well, you could build, bases in space or build bases underground, like a vault or something like that. I could see people not really want no life in Starfield, but definitely putting a lot of time and hours into it. Like a lot of us have already put time and hours into it. A lot of us have already put time and hours into Fallout, but just having that merging of those IPs, I could see a lot of people, doing that, and then have like power armor for space as well.
Dude, it's infinite opportunity, and we're sitting here. It's so funny that we're sitting here and we're talking about like Fallout and everything, and we're talking about 76 having a resurgence, but we just overlook. We think that Starfield can't have the same thing. Not we on this panel, but like people out there thinking that Starfield can't be like quote unquote fixed. Look how much potential. Like as we sit here, it's like, man, this 83 Metacritic game, right, in Starfield has so much potential. It's if it needs saving, they could definitely save it with content, because it's packed. It's packed with potential. So.
Absolutely.
People will go back to it.
I think people are still playing it. I think people are no-lifing it. I think there's a lot to get excited about. I think that there is something for everyone, 83 meta or not. And if you add the hottest things in sliced bread and add some sort of a Fallout thing to it, I can actually see that being a thing.
I think I would say to that idea though too. I think it would be really cool to see them like really kind of build out a more fleshed out area, because I feel like that's one thing I missed in Starfield, is that you didn't necessarily have like, you had like detailed locations, but you didn't necessarily have as many like fleshed out worlds per se. Like they're kind of like a little bit sparse in that aspect. Not that I didn't enjoy it or that I don't understand that that's how the game was, but it would be really cool to see like a little bit more dense, detailed like city than what we might have saw from the base game itself, like as a Fallout theme, and really expand on what the game is capable of, because that's kind of what I hope for from like some of the DLC, because as time went on, like that was probably one of the things that I could knock the game for. But I mean, again, I enjoyed it for what it was and definitely understand some of the critiques, but I think that would be a really good way to expand on what the game is capable of and really kind of cross over the IP.
Yeah, I agree.
One more thing,
sure.
And then I'm done. But as I'm thinking about that game and thinking about this Fallout thing, for those who didn't play it through, I will try not to spoil it, and I promise I'll try. But everybody on this panel, you got through it, right? You did the whole thing.
Yes.
Okay. There's one mission in particular that goes in and out of certain scenarios, right? It like has a mechanic where it's telling a story and then you're warping from one time zone to another time zone, all right?
Yeah.
Imagine doing like a just an Easter egg or a callback thing to a Skyrim, a vault kind of scenario. Can you imagine what you can do with that, like storytelling
It would be
of like
crazy.
going in and
Yeah.
out of what happened to that planet or what happened to that bunker? That would be so good. Anyway.
It would